Hello students, today I am discussing about very important disorder that is in psychiatry, schizophrenia. This is you can see definition of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia disorders are characterized in general by fundamental and characteristic distortions of thinking and perception and affects that are inappropriate or blunted. Clear consciousness and intellectual capacity are usually maintained, although certain cognitive deficits may evolve in the course of time. So, according to this definition, schizophrenia disorders mainly characterized होता है उसमें जो fundamental and main जो symptoms हैं वो है first distortions of thinking and perception and affective disturbances. 3 यहाँ पर main है thinking disturbance, perception disorders and affect. These are inappropriate, may be blunted, and intellectual capacity and consciousness मेंटेन रहता है बट जैसे कोर्स बढ़ता है जैसे स्किज़ोफ्रेनिया जैसी क्रॉनिक बनते जाती हैं तब कॉग्निटिव डेफिसिट्स हम देख सकते हैं. कॉग्निटिव डेफिसिट्स का मतलब इंटेलेक्चुअल कैपेसिटी, अटेंशन, कंसंट्रेशन, इनसाइट, ये सब कॉग्निटिव फंक्शंस के अंदर आते हैं. सो हम थिंकिंग में थॉट प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, परसेप्शंस में मे बी डेल्यूशन, हैलुसिनेशंस, इल्यूशंस होते हैं. एंड इफ हियर यू सी मेन जो साइकोपैथोलॉजिकल फिनोमिना है वो मेन ये सिम्टम्स रहता है. फर्स्ट वन इज थॉट एको. एको मीन्स रिसाउंड. सो थॉट एको जो थॉट जो पेशेंट के अंदर आता है it should be audible to everyone. And thought insertion, उनके दिमाग में इनको ये लगता है कि somebody are inserting their ideas into the patient mind और thought withdrawal. पेशेंट के ये भी लगता है कि उनके जो थॉट्स हैं, सोचे हैं, सोच हैं वो कोई और निकाल रहे हैं या बाहर जा रहा है अपने दिमाग से. एंड थॉट ब्रॉडकास्टिंग. थॉट ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में ये होता है कि पेशेंट का जो भी थॉट है इट इज टेलीकास्टिंग. एंड डेल्यूशनल परसेप्शंस, यहाँ परसेप्शन प्रॉब्लम्स भी रहते हैं लाइक डेल्यूशन ऑफ डाउट. परसेप्शन मीन्स delusional perceptions and delusion of control. यहाँ पर somebody is controlling him, the delusion will be present and somebody is influencing me, some like that. And hallucinatory voices, मतलब जो भी third person he is talking about the patient, he is commenting about the patient, ये सब. And thought disorders and negative symptoms will be present in schizophrenia. Schizophrenia में main thought disturbances, perception problem and affect disturbances रहता है. Understood? Then we'll go to schizophrenia. Schizophrenia occurs with regular frequency nearly everywhere in the world in 1% of population and begins mainly in the young age, almost around 16 to 25 years. Schizophrenia पॉपुलेशन में 1% में डेफिनेटली रहता ही है, रेगुलरली होता है. एंड द एज ग्रुप है 16 से लेके 25 साल के बीच में होता है. एंड स्किज़ोफ्रेनिया अगेन इट इज डिफाइंड एज इट इज अ ग्रुप ऑफ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक positive and negative symptoms. Later we can see what are the positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia in the next slide. And deterioration in social, occupational and interpersonal relationships. Deterioration, if they are not concentrating on their social life, they are something drowsy, they are not concentrating, they are not understanding, they are not bothering with their social and occupational interpersonal relationships. And continuous signs of the disturbance for at least 6 months. ये symptoms उनको at least minimum 6 है. Next, history. If you see history, according to Emil Kraepelin, the illness develops relatively early in the age, but the course is likely deteriorating and chronic. Deterioration reminded dementia but was not followed by any organic changes in the brain detectable at that time. So according to Emil Kraepelin, he named as a schizophrenia is a dementia precox, but later in the studies they found that in schizophrenia there is no any organic damage in the brain, so the dementia precox has renamed as schizophrenia in later. And according to Eugen Bleuler, he renamed Kraepelin's dementia precox as schizophrenia in 1911. He recognized the cognitive impairment in the illness, so which he named as a splitting of mind. Split means there is a crack in the mind. So Eugen Bleuler, he said that, renamed that dementia precox as schizophrenia, what we are calling also schizophrenia, and that too because of crack in the mind. And next psychiatrist, Kurt Schneider, he emphasized the role of psychotic symptoms such as hallucinations, delusions, and gave them the privilege of the first rank symptoms even in the concept of the diagnosis of schizophrenia, because Kurt Schneider has emphasized, he has identified, he given importance that hallucinations and delusions are present, and he has called that hallucinations and delusions as the first rank symptoms in the diagnosis of schizophrenia. If these first rank symptoms are present, definitely that is diagnosed, that diagnosis is nothing but a schizophrenia. Then according to Eugen Bleuler, there are 4 symptoms that commonly we can call as 4 A's, so that are very much important in the diagnosis of schizophrenia according to Eugen Bleuler. That 4 A's are nothing but alphabet A. 4 A's, that means according to Bleuler, there are the letters starting with A are the symptoms of schizophrenia. So first A, affect blunting. Second, association disturbances. Third, mutism. And fourth A is ambivalence, that is fragmented emotional response. These are the 4 A's of schizophrenia. Affective blunting. Affect blunt. Here that emotions, that feelings are blunt, matlab there is no any activeness. And disturbances of association, it is a one type of thinking, fragmented thinking, there is a breakage in the thought process. Autism and ambivalence, these are the 4 A's of Eugen Bleuler. And this group of symptoms called as 4 A's, and Bleuler thought they are primary for the diagnosis of schizophrenia. And also there are other known symptoms are hallucinations, delusions, which are appearing in schizophrenia very often, and he used to call as a secondary symptoms because they could be seen in any other psychotic disease which are caused by quite different factors, from intoxication to infection or other disease entities. So here Eugen Bleuler said that 4 A's are primary symptoms, and secondary like hallucinations and delusions he called as secondary symptoms, because these secondary symptoms may occur in other diseases like acute intoxication to any infection. In other diseases also we can see. That's why Eugen Bleuler said these are the secondary symptoms. Here we see course of illness. Course of illness, it is continuous without any temporary improvement. episodic with progressive or stable deficits, episodic with complete or incomplete remissions. And typical stages of schizophrenia are prodromal phase, active phase, and residual phase. Clinical picture according to diagnostic manuals, ICD-10 International Classification of Disease, World Health Organization, that is Indian classification, and DSM-4 Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, American Psychiatric Association. So here clinical picture of schizophrenia is according to ICD-10. It is defined from the point of view of the presence and expression of primary and secondary symptoms. So primary symptoms, as I discussed earlier, primary symptoms are cognitive deficits and emotions and affect mood comes under primary symptoms. And secondary symptoms, it comes under hallucinations and delusions. So at present we can term as negative and positive symptoms. Negative symptoms are represented by cognitive disorders having its origin of in the disorders of association of thoughts combined with emotional blunting and small production of hallucination illusions. And positive symptoms are characterized by presence of hallucinations and delusions. In negative symptoms, there are cognitive forms of disorder, that is thought problems and emotional blunting. Autism will be present. In positive symptoms, hallucinations and delusions. Here positive and negative symptoms, you see negative symptoms are alogia. Alogia means lack of speech. Affect flattening means emotional blunting. Evolutions, lack of interest in doing the goal directed activities. Apathy, lack of mood, interest. Anhedonia, lack of pleasure. And attentional impairment, that is a cognitive impairment. Positive symptoms, delusions and hallucinations. Hallucinations means false perception without any stimuli. Delusions are false beliefs and bizarre behaviors and some of the formal thought disorder. Criteria of diagnosis, here we can see presence of very clear symptoms or the presence of two group symptoms for 1 month or more. Here we can see the classification of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia comes under, according to ICD-10 criteria, F alphabet indicates psychiatric disorders. F20 indicates schizophrenia. Under F20 we can find number of schizophrenia. In that F20 0 is paranoid schizophrenia, F21 is hebephrenic schizophrenia, F22 is catatonic schizophrenia, F23 undifferentiated schizophrenia, F24 post-schizophrenic depression, F25 residual schizophrenia, F26 simple schizophrenia, F28 other schizophrenia, F29 schizophrenia unspecified. Total here we can see 10 types of schizophrenia. Firstly, we can see about paranoid schizophrenia. Paranoid schizophrenia is characterized by delusions of persecution, feelings of passive or active control, feelings of intrusion, and often by megalomaniac tendencies also. And the delusions are not usually systematized too much without tight logical connections and are often combined with hallucinations of different senses, mostly with hearing voices. So, paranoid schizophrenia, it is mainly characterized by delusions of persecution. So delusions of persecution is nothing but doubtness. The mainly wife and husband, they don't believe their partner, that is delusions of persecution. And feelingness of passive or active control, somebody is controlling him. And feelings of intrusion, somebody is inserting ideas into him, and often by megalomanic tendencies also. They'll behave overactive, and the delusions are not usually systemized too much, but without any tight logical connections. And almost all the delusions are connected with the hallucinations of different senses, mainly hearing voices. And disturbances of affect will be there. Volitions means the person is not interested in his environment, he don't want to active in goal directed activities. And speech catatonic symptoms are either absent or relatively inconspicuous. Catatonic symptoms may be either present or absent. Here we can see hebephrenic schizophrenia. Hebephrenic schizophrenia is very serious schizophrenia, which is prognosis is very poor, and it is also called as a disorganized schizophrenia because it is characterized by disorganized thinking with blunted and inappropriate emotions, because here the thinking is not organized and the emotions and affect are blunted, and it begins mostly in adolescent age. The behavior is often bizarre behavior, that is, which is not at all acceptable to the society. And there could be appear mannerisms, grimaces, and different mannerisms they can see, and grimacing. The facial expressions are very bizarre, inappropriate laughing and joking, pseudo philosophical brooding, and sudden impulsive reactions without any external stimulations. They behave very impulsively without any stimulation. There is a tendency to social isolation, and usually the prognosis is very poor because of the rapid development of negative symptoms, particularly flattening of affect and loss of volitions. Hebephrenia should normally be diagnosed only in adolescents or young adults, and it is also denoted as a disorganized schizophrenia. Next we can see catatonic schizophrenia. Catatonic schizophrenia is mainly characterized with the motor activity. So here motor disturbances we can found, which might be strongly increased, hypkinesis or decreased, stupor or automatic obedience, and negativism. So these symptoms will be present in catatonic schizophrenia. So if in the catatonic schizophrenia, they're active, very active, that is hyperkinesis will be present, or their motor behavior may be depressed, that is stupor, that is decreased. So they also have automatic obedience, whatever you say they'll obedient, कुछ भी आप बोलने से उसके वो लोग मान जाएंगे, करेंगे. एंड नेगेटिविज्म, जो आप बोलोगे उसको बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट करेंगे. These are the symptoms will be present in catatonic schizophrenia. इसमें mainly two forms रहता है. One is productive form, that is increased form, and stuporous form, that is decreased form. तो जहाँ पर मोटर एक्टिविटी ज़्यादा रहता है दैट इज़ द प्रोडक्टिव फॉर्म, जहाँ पर मोटर एक्टिविटी कम रहता है दैट इज स्टूपरस फॉर्म. सो प्रोडक्टिव फॉर्म में विच अलाउस द कैटाटोनिक एक्साइटमेंट, एक्सट्रीमनेस, ओवर activity, and often aggressive activity will be present. Treatment by neuroleptics or by electroconvulsive therapy. And stuporous form में it is characterized by general inhibition of patient's behavior, at least by retardation or slowness. मतलब यहाँ पर पेशेंट एक्टिविटी एकदम डल हो जाता है, उसकी म्यूटिज्म एकदम म्यूट रहता है. नेगेटिविज्म जो बोलेगा उसका अपोजिट करेगा. फ्लेक्सिबिलिटीज मतलब वो एक ही पोजीशन में फिक्स रहेगा. ही विल मेंटेन सेम पोजीशन फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम, और मे बी स्टूपर भी हो जाएगा, बट कॉन्शियस इज नॉट एब्सेंट. Then undifferentiated schizophrenia, it is also one of the psychotic conditions meeting the general diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia but not conforming to any other subtypes like F20 to F20 0 to 20. मतलब it is not a catatonic if this is not a paranoid, and this is not a hebephrenic, but these mixed features will be present. It is exhibiting more than one type of schizophrenia without a clear predominance of a particular set of diagnostic rates. मतलब in undifferentiated schizophrenia there may be paranoid symptoms and catatonic symptoms, either hebephrenic symptoms or paranoid symptoms. Any two subtypes of schizophrenia will be present. So that is nothing but undifferentiated schizophrenia. The subgroup represents also the former diagnosis of atypical schizophrenia. Then post-schizophrenic depression, by the word itself we can understand. A depressive episode may be present after suffering with schizophrenia illness. Some schizophrenic symptoms, either positive or negative, must still be present, but they no longer dominate the clinical picture. These depressive states are associated with an increased risk of suicide. If the schizophrenia patient is having depression, definitely there is a increased risk of suicide. Then residual schizophrenia. This is chronic stage in the development of schizophrenia, which clear successions of the initial stage with one or more episodes of characterized by general criteria of schizophrenia to the late stage with long lasting negative symptoms and deterioration. मतलब यहाँ पर he person might have developed a chronic schizophrenia. Then simple schizophrenia, it is characterized by early and slowly developing initial stage with the growing social isolation. So मतलब person यहाँ पर पहले सोशल आइसोलेशन करेगा, मतलब सबसे दूर रहना चाहता, अकेला रहना चाहता है, and withdrawal and small activity, then passivity, evolution and dependency on the others. This is all about simple schizophrenia. The patients are indifferent without any initiative and volition. There is not expressed the presence of hallucinations and delusions. यहाँ पर कोई hallucinations and delusion express नहीं करते हैं. Genetics of schizophrenia. Many psychiatric disorders are multifactorial, caused by the interactions of external and genetic factors, and from the genetic point of view very often polygenically determined. The relative risk for schizophrenia is around 1% in the normal population, 5.6 for the parents, 10.1% for siblings, 12.8 for children. And etiology of schizophrenia. Etiology and pathogenesis of schizophrenia is not known, and it is accepted that schizophrenia is a group of schizophrenias which origin is multifactorial. Internal factors, genetic, inborn and biochemical. External factors, trauma, infections, central nervous system. Here we can see dopamine hypothesis. The effect of the neurotransmission activity in the brain that affects the antipsychotic drugs that have in the common the ability to inhibit the dopaminergic system by blocking the action of dopamine in the brain. So here in the schizophrenia, dopamine activity will be more. So and according to classical dopamine hypothesis of schizophrenia, psychotic symptoms are related to dopaminergic hyperactivity in the brain. Hyperactivity of dopaminergic system during schizophrenia is result in the increased sensitivity and density of dopamine D2 receptors in the different parts of the brain. So that's why we give antipsychotics, the drugs. Those antipsychotic drugs mainly block the action of the dopamine in the brain. The neurodevelopmental model supposes in schizophrenia the presence of silent lesion in the brain, mostly in the parts important for the development of integration, that is frontal, parietal and temporal, which is caused by different factors of genetic, inborn and infection and trauma during very early development of the brain in prenatal or early postnatal periods of life. मतलब in the frontal and parietal temporal lobes में कोई भी damaged small lesions रहते हैं, that may leads to schizophrenia. And if any infections or trauma at the time of delivery, maybe in the prenatal and postnatal life. It does not interfere too much with the basic brain functioning in early years, but expresses itself in the time when the subject is stressed by the demands of growing needs of integration. During treatment, acute psychotic schizophrenia patients will respond usually to antipsychotic medications. According to current consequences, we use in the first line therapy the newer atypical antipsychotics because their use is not complicated by appearance of extrapyramidal side effects, and these are much lower than with the classical antipsychotics. So here classical antipsychotics are neuroleptics, chlorpromazine, chlorprotexin, clopenthaxol, levopromazine, pericyanise, thyroidazine. And atypical antipsychotics, amisulpride, clozapine, olanzapine, quetiapine, risperidone, cetinodol sulfaride. ECT, it is extremely rare for patients with schizophrenia to be offered ECT. Most people are given ECT every 2 to 5 days for a total of 6 to 12 sessions, and after the sessions are complete, a course of medication can help to maintain the REMS. Psychological therapy. Psychotherapy is not the treatment of choice for someone with schizophrenia, but used as an adjunct to the good medication plan. However, psychotherapy also can help to maintain the individual on their medication, learn the needed social skills, and supports the person's weekly goals and activities in their community. So psychotherapy is not the treatment choice, but it can be used with the proper medication plan, so it will more helpful, that will maintain the person to follow up on medication, and he will learn the social skills like talking, dressing, and it supports the person's weekly goals and activities in the psychosocial therapies. They include reassurance, education, modeling, limit setting, and reality testing with the therapist. Encouragement in the setting small goals and reaching them can often be helpful. Group therapy. This supportive group therapy can be especially helpful in decreasing the social isolation and increasing the reality testing. Group therapy focuses on real life plans, problems and relationships, on social and work roles and इंटरेक्शन. जो भी पर्सन को जो सोशल लाइफ में जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, उन पर्सनस को ग्रुप थेरेपी दिया जाता है. विद दैट ही कैन इम्प्रूव द सोशल इंटरेक्शन बाय डिक्रीजिंग द सोशल आइसोलेशन. सबसे मिलना जुलना सीख. फैमिली थेरेपी. दिस थेरेपी encourages the family to convene a family meeting whenever